And this is Deadman323 bringing you the video review for FansProject CA-11 downforce, also known as Dragstrip. As you can see, this is probably like one of those Le Mans cars. Actually, it's called a Caparo T1. Everybody thought it was going to be a Ferrari or Lamborghini type of car, but that's the official car. It's a Caparo T1, and it's a nice representation of the Caparo. But taking a better look at it, you can see that he has a blue headlights here, which I'm not a big fan of them. I wish they were clear. It'll look a lot nicer. And his shield here, his windshield here, it's also blue. But all overall, like, the car is beautiful. Now, it doesn't have really many paint apps other than the little red strips here in his wing, and that's about it. I mean, besides that, the whole mold is just yellow. He has some silver paint here for his shocks, and then and these grayish bars holding the fender here on the side, and that's about it. Other than that, it's just plain old yellow, which kind of bugs me a little bit. I wish it had a little bit more details, but other than it doesn't I can't complain so much because it looks way better in robot mode. And like all the CA-10s, you can see the part of the gun fell out here, but yeah, it has weapon storage here. They just tab in right here in the bottom on both sides, which is a really cool feature. So issues on the car mold are just lack of paint apps all around. I wish I mean, that's my major complaint about his car mold. It just looks too plain, but that's nothing major taken away from the figure. The thing that does bother me is his wheels. These wheels are like this thin compared to the front ones, and I understand why, but it just doesn't look right in his vehicle mode, as you can see. But having them sideways, it doesn't look that bad. So it's up to you how you're gonna display this guy if you're planning on buying him. But personally, I won't keep him in his car mode, even though it's a pretty cool car mode. Now, before I transform this guy, I want to note that these little front bumper parts here, they're very thin. So when transforming this guy and even handling him, just be very careful with this. This looks like it could break. I mean, I don't have any stress marks on it or anything. I've been very careful ever since I saw how thin it was, but that's just a fair bit of warning there. Also, I've been hearing that this is very brittle, so it might shatter if you're not careful with it. Also, you're supposed to rotate it, I believe it's counterclockwise or clockwise, either or. Just as if you feel like it's too hard to turn, then just try the other way. But besides that, I think that's the only thing that the bad parts about it, or the weak parts about it, to be careful on. But let me transform this guy right quick and let me show off his robot mode. And here we have Dragstrip in his robot mode. As you can see, the transformation part wasn't that easy, and that has been the issues with these FansProject figures. Like I said, starting with Breakdown, that was my first figure, and I actually do like that guy, but the transformation parts are so complicated, and then some parts the figure feels like it's gonna break, and that's not something that's good when you're paying a premium of $50 plus on these figures. And I understand why they cost so much, because they're customs, but at the same time, more engineering should have gone into the transformation process so that it doesn't feel that way on these figures. But that being said, this guy looks pretty awesome. I like the way it looks, and I have a lot of issues with this mold. And starting with would be the legs. The back part, they really don't have much support here. So if the weight ratio is not centered properly, there's nothing holding them back. So posability is very limited on this guy due to his legs, and that's a big downfall. So that means you can't really do any big action poses like you can on the other guys, because like that, if you're trying to split his legs open like that, he won't be that steady. You have to really center him, and that's due to the part that this wheel part sits a little bit lower, and there's no back heel, so that's the thing that really brings down this figure and his leg parts. And the other thing is his gun. His gun is like the weakest of all three of them that we have out so far. As you can see here, it's just clipped here in the middle by that little peg, and that thing comes off so easily that, I mean, any little maneuver to the gun, it's already off. And that's very bad compared to the other guns that we have with these other FansProject figures. So I'm not a big fan of this little gun. But the figure itself, the overall, the paint job is amazing. Just how the purple just comes out of the figure. I mean, like I said, the car was all yellow, had no decals on it or anything. But now you see him here in robot mode, and you see more grayish. You see silver paint here. You see little purple accents all around. Now taking a better look at his head sculpt here, is pretty nicely done. I like the purple, and then the teal, the red eyes, everything looks beautiful. And here's all three of the ones that we have out so far. Like I said, this guy is my favorite. The mold was just perfect, hands down. The gun was beautifully done. Decals, like all the paint decals, was just beautiful. Now when you have all three of these guys together, they don't look bad. And I honestly can't wait until we get the other two so we could complete menasor. But at the time, if you still haven't picked these guys up, I highly recommend you pick this guy first, and then, I mean, you'll pretty much fall in love with this guy. This is the best mold that they have out so far. And then from there is either you have the option of buying these two, or wait to see how menasor ends up looking once the final product is out. And if that's a good thing and it's something that you'll eventually like, then I would recommend you pick these guys up. They're not bad figures. So my final thoughts on Dragstrip here. If you've already been buying the other two sets, then there's no reason why not to pick this guy up. You absolutely need him in order to complete menasor. Now if you're on the fence about completing menasor, it's definitely not my favorite out of the three, but I gotta say that it's not as bad as I thought it seemed. Like, to see him by pictures, just how plain he was, I thought it was just going to be one of the worst things we ever got from him, but it's not that bad. The car mold is beautiful, which is like the highlight of the figure here. And even when combining him into menasor, he will stay in his car mold, so that's a plus. And if you haven't picked up none of these guys, I don't recommend you start off with this guy, because the fact being, you're not going to like the way that the transformations are working out with them. You're not going to like the fact that it's delicate in some sort of way, and you're not going to like the possibility on this guy especially due to his legs issues, or not leg issue, but I mean the point that he had, the fact that he doesn't have a heel in the back to hold him, to support him. So until next time, this has been Deadman323. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.